Okay, so this video is going to cover how to create your multi-view drawings and add dimensions to your drawings on Onshape rather than doing it on paper. So we're still going to be following the same set of dimensioning guidelines, our flowchart here, but we're doing it on the computer now. And that's going to help us out because it's going to automatically do a few things for us that are really, really nice. So I've got my parts made. I'm just going to have you pick 4 of the parts that you modeled of these 20 shapes. If you happen to do any of the same ones that we did our drawings of, that'd be great. But otherwise, you're just going to do 4 of the ones that you've already made. So to create our drawing, you're going to go ahead and create a new drawing file right here. And it's going to offer to add 4 views for you automatically. But we're going to go ahead and just add our views ourselves. So we'll select no views and hit OK. Now, when this loads up, it's automatically going to pop up with the thing you have to use to add stuff to that. I'm going to go ahead and close it out just so you can see where to go to add those shapes. So the first place you're going to look is here where it says Insert View. So you click on that, and it's going to pop up the little dialog here, and you'll hit Insert. That's going to give access to all of the parts in this document. If you needed something from another document, you can actually go and find parts from other documents as well. But the point of this is we're going to do all of our stuff in one document. So you've got all your parts over here. And so what you can do is you can find individual parts by opening these up. Each of these is going to be your tabs on the bottom. And since we only have one part in each of these, there'll only be one there. So I'm going to click on one. It's going to, I have an option here to set some stuff going on. Look at your size. These parts are going to all fit 1-to-1 really nicely on this A size sheet of paper. You see where it says A. A is just meaning that it is normal computer paper. So I'm going to go ahead and click for my front view, and it'll add that in. Now, right off the bat, it switched, and it automatically selected this projected view button. What that lets me do is I can go straight up for my front view, and it's going to put the top view in. If I want to do that again, I'm still on the projected view. I can click on my front view, go straight over, and it'll add my right side view. And again, if I'm still on projected, I can click on my front view, go up into the corner to add my isometric view. Those are the 4 standard views you're going to need. Hit escape there. I've got my front, I've got my top, I've got my right, and I've got my isometric. No dimensions are going to go in the isometric, but it's got to be there still. So from here, we want to add our dimensions in. One thing you'll know is the hidden lines are not showing up right now. If you right click on it, it's actually up there. It's for some reason not showing up on my computer when I don't have enough room apparently. So if I right click now, you can see it was up there the whole time, show hidden lines, and you can drag these back around or anywhere you want. What you'll notice is it automatically matches the other 2 up to fit. Now, the only thing we're going to have to do right now is start adding in our dimensions, and that's this button right here. What you can do with this dimension is you can do 2 things. You can either click on a line and it'll give you the dimension of that line, or you can click on 2 things and it'll give you the dimension between those 2 things. But I still want you following the guidelines that we've talked about. So if you're looking at this, I would look at this and say, okay, there's my shape, my feature. I want a dimension between those 2 to give me the size of that rectangle. Okay. I want a dimension between those 2 to give me the height of that rectangle. And I also want a dimension over to give the location of that rectangle. And that doesn't look very nice in there, but I can also do things like, just drag it out. Move these around a little bit to make them look nice. And hopefully you can find a way that makes them look all okay. Something like that might look about as good as I can get it. So that's that one done. Then I'd want to come up here and do the same thing, still using that dimension tool. Again, I want to go, how big is this thing? What's its size? How wide is that opening? And how far away from that corner is it? And you'll see I'm trying to line these up as good as I can here, but yeah, it doesn't necessarily like that all the time. Once you're done with these, you can drag them around still. So if you don't quite like where they're placed, you can move them. One thing to keep in mind is this is a computer paper sized piece of paper, and so it's not perfect by any means. Usually we'd be using a much bigger piece of paper. So I've dimensioned that. Now I want to dimension the overall shape. And so I go back to my dimension tool and I want to say, how far is it from there to there? That's 2 inches. How far is it from bottom to top? That's 1.25 inches. I need to get my depth in here somehow, so maybe I put that over here. How far is it from there to there? That's also 1.25 inches. And then I think I still need to say like something about these little pieces here. There's a couple ways I could do that. I could just dimension this part and say that's 0.5. And I could dimension that part and say that's 0.5. That'd be one way to do it. I could also, use dimensions from here, dimension the cutout instead of what's actually there. That would be fine too. But there you go. You're also going to see that popping up every single time. We have not talked about what that means yet, but we will eventually, and how this thing is going to show its dimensions. You got lots of options. I can change that to fractions if I wanted to. Now it's going to show half, but I want it just normal inches right now. And there you go. Oh, one more thing I guess I should mention. To get the next sheet, you're just going to click on this button over here, hit New Sheet, and then you can start right back up with Insert and do your next part.